Hey everybody, in this game my opponent punished me for bringing my queen out too early, but I was able to recover in the endgame. I'm playing the white pieces, he goes Sicilian defense, I develop my bishop, and now he develops his knight while also putting pressure, attacking my center pawn. I attack him in turn with the idea being that he can't go to these squares because of my queen, he can't go here because of my bishop. I'm hoping he just retreats to his starting square. Instead, he goes to this way more aggressive outpost on e4, and I try and punish him by bringing my queen out earlier than I like, but the idea being that now I'm threatening checkmate on f7 with the bishop and the queen, and at the same time I'm attacking this undefended knight. He goes to g5, which is probably his best move because it simultaneously defends against the checkmate while also putting pressure by attacking my queen. I don't want to give up on the dream though, so I just slide up here. Now I'm still threatening the checkmate, still attacking the undefended knight, and he doesn't have a ton of great squares to go to, so he's probably going to defend with one of these two pawns. Sure enough, he does. I don't immediately capture back here because I want to keep that driving lane open. So like if he captures here and I'm able to get rid of this knight somehow, maybe with my black bishop, then I still have that checkmate threat, right? So along those lines, I push the D pawn here. Now I have the discovered attack against his knight, which I do want to get out of there. He wouldn't be able to recapture it because then it would just be game over. And he does this extremely unexpected, extremely elegant counterattack with this pawn push. The idea being that now he has this discovered attack on my queen. I can't capture this pawn en passant or with my bishop because then I just lose the queen straight up. And if I retreat the queen anywhere, I'm just losing the bishop straight up. So yeah, extremely nice move on his part. I thankfully have this intermediate check though that I can throw that he's gonna have to block with either of these two pieces. Doesn't matter to me which. When he goes with the knight, I just recapture and throw a check. And when he recaptures, I'm able to at least retreat without going down a full piece. He keeps up the pressure on my queen by retreating with his knight, and I slide over to this side of the board with the hope that I can maybe pick up a free pawn here. Kind of depends on how he responds or how he defends it. He defends with the bishop this way, which continues his development, and now there's the potential discovered attack on my queen if he can get both of these pawns out of the way, so I'm not overly worried about it just yet. I hate how undeveloped my pieces are, so I develop my knight. Again, try and shore up a little bit this pawn, but also set up a kingside castle. This move I did not understand at all on his part because it feels like it weakens his potential kingside castle. I don't worry about that. I just castle on my own end, and it looks like a pseudo fianchetto that he's setting up with his bishop over there. Again, we're just trying to get our development done. No worries there. I bring out my own knight with the same idea. He castles, and here I decide to kind of force the issue in the center. Yeah, I'm letting him undouble his pawns for free, but I also kind of want to like blow up the center so I can get my pieces a bit more involved, especially bring my queen back into the center of the game. He captures, I capture, he takes back, and after I recapture here, there's nothing defending this center pawn anymore. That was a mistake on my part. So when he recaptures, I'm losing at tempo again with my queen. I escape. He keeps pushing that issue, and I'm able to slide over here. I'm trying to attack this undefended pawn. He shores up the undefended pawn that I was hoping to attack, and I go ahead and attack it with my own pawn. He defends it with his rook. I guess it's fine. I go ahead and just do the exchange because now at least I'm able to connect my rooks finally and bring my bishop into the game. And he brings his queen over here, which I don't quite understand what's the idea. I think I'm being cute with this bishop move because obviously he can't recapture because it's pinned. But, given that his queen is already on this diagonal, this doesn't really do too much. I don't know why I did it. He slides his queen in to try and kick me. It works. I do the exchange. And at this point, I'm half tempted to just trade queens with him to draw his king out a little bit more into the wilderness and kind of simplify things on my end. But instead, I bring my queen over here to attack his undefended bishop, kind of hoping that he'll either retreat it here or here, and then I can pick up a free pawn, and at least then I'm putting a little bit of pressure on this rook as well. Instead, he does this unexpected defense of his bishop. I like that a lot. He keeps, he's kind of trapping my queen into this neighborhood by blocking off my paths of travel, but he's also defending his bishop now with his queen, so I like that move a lot for him. I bring my rook over with two ideas, one of them being I kind of want to blow up the center still, but I'm also getting increasingly worried about him just sliding his rook over to the h-file and then eventually bringing his queen over. This at least kind of gives me a little bit of an escape path if I'm going to need it. Instead, he retreats his rook into the back. I don't know if he's just trying to set up a way to push my queen out of that neighborhood. But I don't overthink it. I just try and blow up that center. He does the exchange. He forces my hand though with this unexpected bishop move. At first I was like really thrown off by it because, I can't recapture because the queen is pinning that pawn and I can't block the checkmate by pushing the pawn without him just grabbing my free queen. The flip side of it is he made things really simple for me where I have to exchange queens. So I do. When he captures back, I grab the free bishop, and at this stage, in retrospect, it's like, okay, cool, you traded your bishop for 2 pawns. I don't think that was the best move. I think he lost a lot of pressure and momentum with his attack. He shores up the defense of this e-file pawn. This way, I probably would have brought this rook into the equation first, but I'm more than happy to throw the check on the g-file because it buys me a tempo, but it also prevents him from putting pressure on me by bringing his rook over to the g-file and putting me in check. He has to move to escape. I claim the open file. I think this move is just so he can keep pushing this unconnected c-pawn all the way down the file. I'm happy to keep up the attack on my part though, throw the check, and I'm happy to give up the open file to set up future checks on this side. I feel like his king is in a very open position. I want to capitalize on that. He pushes that pawn, which I feel like ignores the threat too much of this check. He blocks it, and I'm not going to go ahead and exchange rooks at this stage. I want to do it on my own terms, hopefully after I've gained a little bit more material. So I retreat. He does this move that I completely don't understand. I don't know if that's even a misclick maybe, because it allows me to grab really 2 pawns in material, because I'm able to grab this one, and with the tempo I gain here, this is also an undefended pawn that I'm going to grab on my next move. He retreats, I grab the undefended pawn, and now I'm really looking at, okay, where is he blocking himself off with his own pieces, and where can I bring in my own rooks for the kill? He slides his rook over, I assume to eventually attack this row of pawns, but I think that's underestimating the power of my rook attack in his back line. Here, now, he only has 2 escape squares he can go to. Either of those is checkmate on my next move. So I think his only option here is to block with his rook and see if I'll trade rooks. Unfortunately, he doesn't do that, so I'm able to get the easy checkmate. But yeah, I thought this game was interesting because I lost so much momentum and tempos with my queen coming out too early. I was pleasantly surprised I was able to pull it back in the endgame. Thanks for watching, and I hope you're having a great day, and I hope to see you all in the next video.